Hi everyone, Andres here, and today I wanted to talk to you about an interesting arithmetics method or technique which I learned from my daughter who is taking common math classes. And the problem is about adding multiple digit numbers which requires less strain. So let's take a look at the example. Let's take two 3-digit numbers, 279 plus 156. In a typical right to left approach, we start with the lowest order digits, in this case 9 and 6, and we add them. 9 plus 6 is going to be 5. I write 5 here, and I need to remember the carryover. Either I need to write it up there, or in order to be less messy, I just need to remember it. Then we get to the next set of digits. 7 plus 5 is going to be 12. And now I need to remember, was there a carryover or not? In this case, yes, there was a carryover, so I write 3. And I remember again that there is a carryover again. And so I am going to add 2 and 1, and remembering the carryover is going to be 4. So this is the answer, and that required me to remember whether there was the carryover or not in a couple of places. Now in the left to right approach, it's a little bit simpler on your brain. So let's again use the same numbers, 279 plus 156, and let's start left to right. So first I look at this set of digits, 2 and 1, and I quickly look at here. I quickly look whether these two numbers is going to overshoot 10 or not. Without evaluating, I really don't need to evaluate whether it's going to be 12 or 13. Just need to see that, yes, it's going to overshoot for sure. And so I immediately add 1 when evaluating 2 plus 1. So 2 plus 1 plus 1 is going to be 4. And so I'm going to write 4. Then I go to the next set of numbers, 7 and 5. Again, quickly pick here whether it's going to overshoot. Yes, it's going to overshoot 10. And so I also need to add 1. So I immediately add 1 to, like, say, 7. So it's going to be 8 plus 5, 13. And now I move to this set of digits. 9 plus 6 is going to be 15. So I just write 5 here. So the result is the same, but it actually required less mental strain because when thinking about carryover or not, you evaluating and gathering all the information immediately when you need to evaluate that particular digit. And therefore, it's a little bit less strain to remember the carryover when you evaluate the next set of digits. In this case, you immediately gather all this information by quickly picking. However, this approach definitely requires an additional experience or a better proficiency of quickly looking at, like, a set of numbers and understanding whether they're going to overshoot 10 or not. So this requires definitely extra practice, and therefore in Common, for example, they emphasize and spend a lot of time evaluating single-digit additions and subtractions, so the children develop that quickness in their head, and that is going to help them to further build up upon that knowledge and that brain pattern. And in general, I think, especially in the age of AI, right now we don't know really what's going to happen, and so I think, and for my children, I think about trying to emphasize the ability for the brain to generate a lot of different patterns. And this is just another pattern that I think is very just useful for kids to know different ways to evaluate numbers. Again, it's not about really being very fast or efficient. It's really about just building more patterns into the brain of the child, because definitely we have computers, we have calculators, we have AI who can quickly evaluate something like that, but we still need to develop brain capacity in our children.